Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Ham's Homestead Kitchen. I'm Mary, and today we are going to be canning some boneless, skinless chicken breast. If you have followed us along on our journey through Facebook and YouTube, you know that we have raised some meat birds for the first time this year. We have been very, very pleased with the process, and we will be doing it again. But one of the things that we love is the ease of canned chicken, especially with me. It allows me to be able to cook things easier where I'm not having to stand in the kitchen so long. And canning meat is an excellent way to do that. So we took 4 chicken breasts, and just 4 of our chicken breasts were 4 pounds 4 ounces. So Eric has cut the chicken up into chunks, and what you want to do is you want to boil it, fry it, or boil it, bake it, or sear it till it's 2/3 done. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do right now. And as soon as now I'm not seasoning it, and that's a preference thing, because I season different ways. This may be chicken enchiladas one night, it may be chicken quesadillas, it may be chicken and rice one night. So I'm going to get all this chicken going, and when it's 2/3 done, I'll come back and we'll show you about putting them in the jar and what to do next. Okay, we have cooked the chicken till the chunks are 2/3 done. The jars are in the oven, and they are being warmed up. They've already been washed. Eric has already washed them. We're going to use wide mouth jars for this. I highly recommend doing that for any type of meat. And I've got my kettle heated up with water and chicken broth. So, I really recommend, if you've never canned meat before, to try it at least once. Because it's an excellent way to have an easy and fast meal ready to go. Like I said, you can shred it and make chicken and rice. You can use it for chicken fajitas, whatever your fancy is that day. Now we're gonna, you see I've stopped on that one because I'm gonna take and push some down, move it around some. You want a 1/2 inch, you want an inch headspace on any meat, any poultry or game bird. So you want to make sure you leave that full inch headspace. But this is just like any chicken that you buy in the grocery store. You know, if you buy canned chicken for chicken salad, this is the same thing. Without all the preservatives, without all the salt. Plus, if you process your own birds, you don't have the antibiotics and all that. I do want to touch on something when I get these ready. I'm going to go ahead and pour the liquid in. And you want a hot liquid in a hot jar, because you don't want them to bust. Make sure there's no air bubbles. Make sure your headspace is the same. Now, this is very important. If any other time you forget to do it, meat is the time you want to make sure you do it. Make sure that you take and clean the rims of your jars with vinegar, because you do not want to get food poisoning. If you've ever had food poisoning, you know what I mean? You don't want it again. And it's just vinegar. I'm wiping the rims. Get off any juice I might have spilled, any of the chicken broth. I've heard a lot of people talk this year about their jars not sealing, and Eric and I have been checking ours, so I'm trying to figure out why their jars hadn't sealed. We are on our second box of Ball wide mouth jars. And again, I don't know if you can see it, but it's slight. There is a bend in the top of it. That small bend will give you a seal originally, but then the seal will let go. So you're going to think it's sealed, but it's really not sealed. So that's why I tell everybody, make sure you check the lids very carefully. And Eric will tell you, I clean them after 24 hours. I don't mess with them for 24 hours after they come out the canner. 24 hours, I take the ring off, I wipe them down. I then dry my ring off, I put my ring back on. I think some of the people may be taking their ring off and the jars hitting it, especially with these defective lids. So we got the pressure cooker heating up, the water's starting to bubble, and I've only got about maybe 2 inches, if that, of water. Now I'm gonna finish canning these up, jarring these up, putting them in the pressure canner. You want to put the pressure lid on, let it vent for 10 minutes. Once it has vented for 10 minutes, put your 10-pound weight on it. And depending on your elevation, to sea level. For 1 pint for us, it is 75 minutes. Now, if you're high above sea level, you need to check with Ball and their canning guide to see what they recommend. But for a quart, it takes 90 minutes. But for boneless, skinless, 75 minutes in a pint. I'm going to finish these up and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, everybody, we're back. And I'm going to have to run Eric off in a minute. He decided he would come in and get a small batch of his cowboy candy done, so we would have some this winter. We sold 95% of our jalapenos.
Yeah.
But we kept a few to do a little bit of cowboy candy for us. So that's what he's doing. But I want to tell you about the pressure canner. It vented for 10 minutes. Then once it vented for 10 minutes, we put the weight on and we let it come up to pressure. Once it came up to 10 pounds of pressure, Eric set the timer for 75 minutes. Once the 75 minutes was done, he turned the temperature off and we let it cool naturally. The pressure come down and the gauge dropped. Once it dropped, I counted down 5 minutes and we're gonna take these out. See what they look like now. Are you gonna open it for me, please? Thank you.
You got to be careful when you're doing this because that steam will come up and it will get your fingers.
And your face.
Yes, and your face. And when you're doing this, you want to open it up away from you. That way the steam don't come in between you and the lid because it can burn your face. I like to open it up and move away like that. And then I just set the lid away somewhere out of the way. You got them?
You wanna get them?
Alright. You want me to show you your audience?
Yes.
It's a little tiny.
So there we have our pint of canned chicken. Now if you watch, Eric is
That
not
looks good.
gonna tilt it.
I don't know how well y'all can see that with this lighting we got, but that looks delicious. Looks clean and delicious.
One thing you don't want to do is tilt it because it creates a false seal and it can also create mold and bacteria.
Right. And I'm just going to set them over here on the towel, and that's where they'll stay for 24 hours.
Yes.
And they're still boiling. They're very, very hot. They're still boiling.
And you'll know that they've sealed. You'll hear them pop. So, 4 1-pound breasts made 4 pints.
Well, it was 1 pound 4 ounces.
1 pound 1 ounce each.
Yes, yes. Total weight of breast was 4 pound 4 ounces.
Yes. So, one breast at 1 pound 1 ounce made 1 pint.
Right.
So, if you're trying to figure out how much you're going to have,
We found out today that we did try to find out the correct weight for a pint and cutting it in squares, and it come up to 1 pound 1 ounce will work
yes,
perfectly.
yes. And I would recommend if you're going to do dark meat, do all dark meat together and all white meat together.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
And we normally don't video our meat because it's so quick and simple. But there's been people asking us to do a video, so maybe we need to do one.
So I hope that you learned something. If you did, please like and subscribe. Please comment if you have any questions whatsoever. And keep on homesteading, keep on gardening, and keep on growing.
And keep on canning.
Thank you and have a blessed evening.